And just like that, we're back. Welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, guys. My name is Nick, and we are, of course, going to be jumping into the world of Bitcoin today. We're going to be taking a look at the charts, see what's been going on, and where I think the price action is heading next. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are, of course, taking a look at the technical analysis here on BTC. So here we have Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart. And following on from the video just before I went on holiday, we were talking about this area being our kind of area of expectations, the next kind of run to the upside. This was between 71,596 to 76,011. And we can see that we did actually come up here. We hit into this range at 73,777 on the 14th of March, which was Thursday. And so, yeah, we've kind of been traveling along quite nicely. You can actually see that when I last did a video, I think was around, let me just find the exact time frame. It's actually down here. So we did a video just before I went away on holiday down here. My expectation was to come up into the higher range. We did, of course, tap into this higher range a little bit, come back down, retesting, finding support at those lows around the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, and rallied up into this area here. Now, the thing with this move to the upside and the concern that we need to be talking about is the higher highs and the higher lows. Obviously coming up in this ascending wedge, the ascending wedge being a bearish pattern overall. Okay, so here we can see the overlapping candlesticks, the weakness in this move to the upside, and now we can see this move crashing down a little bit. Okay, so this move to the downside here has done a few things, right? So we hit the higher range expectations, actually right in the middle of this range here at 73,777, and we start to move on down. Now, moving on down, we have lost the support range. The ranges that we had found support previously on this 4-hour time frame was the 50 EMA and the 50 SMA. Okay, so the yellow line is the 50 SMA, that's your simple moving average, and the blue line coming through here, that is our 50 exponential moving average, the 50 EMA. And before, on this way to the upside, you could see that actually there was a lot of support here. We were closing above these key areas, and as long as we were closing above them, we were, pretty confident in the continuation of the higher highs, higher lows. However, now we have got lower highs and lower lows, and although this actually is gearing up for a bit of a break to the upside, I do think, and this is simply just because, let me draw this in, we have the opposite of the ascending wedge, we have a descending wedge here, overlapping candlesticks and weakness within these candlesticks for the bears. Okay, so the bears are losing ground here, and of course we are getting close to the 200 EMA. It's possible that we come down and we still test that 200 EMA and we find it as support, but it's still looking to me like the bears are getting weaker here as price is moving down. The bulls are going to gain control, and we're likely to see a bit of a run to the upside. And of course, we can see the 50 EMA here being our resistance at the moment. So a retest of that could be interesting. So let's put some numbers down here, right? So we have our 200 EMA, right? If we were to drop down, this is the area that we don't want to close below if we want to be bullish on the market. If we want to see a bit of a run to the upside for Bitcoin, then we want to make sure that we close above $62,044 on this 4-hour time frame. Okay, and so finding support on this 200 EMA will be a great sign for Bitcoin. Historically speaking, as you can see, it's been a great place. Every time we've rallied on through the 200 EMA, every time you turned it into resistance, you've gone down further. Every time we've broken above it, we turned it into support, we've rallied up higher. Okay, so here we are looking at this area as a potential test of Bitcoin's price action. So we want to come down, we want to find it as support, and we want to rally from it. We lose it as support, we'll expect further downside before retesting it and seeing whether we can get back above that 200 EMA. Okay, so it's looking okay. Now, the resistance at the moment, the area that the bears are going to make sure that we close below and the bulls are going to want to close above, is sat at $68,270. That's the 50 EMA, the blue line coming through here. This is currently some major resistance for Bitcoin's price action. As you can see, on many occasions, Bitcoin's price has tested this and it has been rejected. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 candlesticks testing. It is a confirmation that the bears have gained control of the market. But like I say, this descending wedge pattern is bullish. Okay, the overlapping candlestick patterns is showing weakness in the moves to the downside, indicating that we are likely to see a bit of a run to the upside. So for me, if I were to be trading it, I'd be looking for a long position. I'm going to be looking for putting the stop loss probably lower than the previous swing low down here and take profit up in the higher range. Now, we're going to want to balance this a little bit with good risk reward ratios. We're looking for a minimum of 1.5. That will basically be going into a, let's say, long position on the 200 EMA, stop loss below the previous swing low. That would be, let me just actually ping that in there, coming in at 59,000, right? So basically stop loss lower than 59,000, entry around the 62K, 62,300 approximately, and take profit on the 50 EMA. Which currently sits at the target range of 68,000. This gives us a 1.69% risk, 1.69 risk reward ratio. The risk reward ratio essentially being for every $1 of risk, you get $1.69 back in returns. And so you want to make sure that you have appropriate risk management associated with any potential trade. This is how I tend to do it. I don't do anything lower than 1.5, and I'll be looking for the greater moves. Now, if we can, of course, put a trading stop, and we just continue running this as price goes upwards. And of course, if I am to be trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to my leverage-based trades. There is an affiliate link to BitGet in the description down below. If you haven't yet signed up, what are you waiting for? Check it out. I don't think you guys would be disappointed. You are eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards and bonuses, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. There are terms and conditions associated with that. Not all countries and jurisdictions are eligible, and all the terms and conditions can be found on the website, of course. So why not check it out if you haven't done so already? BitGet, I just find it a really nice, easy to use platform, both on the desktop, but also on the mobile devices as well. So that'll be my approach to this one. It looks like we could potentially see a long position gearing up here for BTC. Let's see what else is going on inside our data. So as you can see, our stochastic RSI hasn't yet managed to come down to the oversold area, right? We're still progressing down. This is showing us that there's still momentum to push the price down a little bit deeper, in line probably with our 200 EMA here. So I would say, yeah, it looks like a 200 EMA support level to be found on the 4-hour time frame is highly probable. Let's go ahead and bring this back up. Let's turn off the stochastic RSI and throw on the divergence indicator. The divergence indicator, as you can see, has lots of bearish flags associated with it, both bearish, 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 and then hidden bearish divergences. The yellow line is the relative strength index, and this basically shows you the momentum behind the price, similar to the stochastic RSI, only that this one is not as sensitive to price movements. This one's more used for trend-based moves, whereas the stochastic RSI is used more for smaller time frame and more price sensitive movements. It basically shows you a lot more volatility than the RSI, the relative strength index. So knowing that we had a couple of bearish flags here, if we bring up our price chart, we can see that we got this hidden bearish flag divergence just as we were testing this area of our resistance on the 50 EMA. This would have actually been a great short position had I been around. I probably would have looked to have put the stop loss above the simple moving average and probably took the profit down on that 200 EMA, still looking like we'd be in very healthy profit right now on that bearish flag. So it's an interesting one, right? And this flag here, this hidden bearish flag on the divergence indicator, indicating exactly where you would need to kind of potentially short the market. And the same here, where we had this bearish flag appear right in the upper area, right as we were in that 73K. Again, what we would have done here is gone short on the market the second that we saw that confirmation flag come in, probably would have been around here. Stop loss would have been above my 76K, and I would still look to be targeting out that 200 EMA as a simple rejection. Here, great profit and great returns would have been seen. So it looks like the divergence indicator is playing out quite nicely at the moment, and we haven't got anything bullish here being flagged up to us. So again, I still think we have some room to the downside. Let's take a look at the volumes. Volumes here have actually increased as we started to move down, showing us that there was a little bit of strength in this move to the downside. So heavy rejection on the 50 EMA there. Ultimately, though, volumes are dropping as we've dropped down here. So let me go ahead and just draw a trend line in to show you. Here we have a decrease in volume as we've decreased in price. Shows that there's weakness in this, and the overlapping candlesticks kind of also confirm that. So I think for the most part, everything is actually quite lined up to kind of the thought process that Bitcoin is looking to finish off this correction to the downside, hopefully find support on that 200 EMA, sorry. And then from the 200 EMA, we'll look for a bit of a move back to the upside. We'll target out 68K, but we can put in a trailing stop and follow the price action as it continues to move to the upside. Whether or not we can rally up into a new all-time high above 73,777 is yet to be seen. I would have to see the strength in the move or the potential breakout from this descending wedge to see whether or not it is viable. I guess we could potentially see a move here taking us up a little bit higher. I don't think it's probable, but we could potentially see 77 to 81, but we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. And that would be a big three-wave pattern taking us up a little bit higher. It would look something like this. A W, X, and Y, taking you out more towards that kind of $77,000 to $81,000. I don't think that's likely to happen, but we'll keep a close eye on it. That's why it's important that we kind of just keep lifting our stop loss as we continue to get a good run to the upside, so we don't sell ourselves short when we have this long position running for BTC. Guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Why don't you let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you're new, subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button. And why don't you check out this video here if you're looking for a little bit more.